while it's my mission to watch every Disney film that ever existed, and that includes the Disney Channel movies from the 90s and noughties, I have a particular fascination with them. Quints was not one that actually sounded appealing to me and was not on my list of priority. But then I realised Kimberly J. Brown is in it. Quite a fan of her in the Halloween Town films, so I thought I'd give it a watch. And it's pretty good. The narrative is something that could appeal to both parents and children, so if you're an adult watching it with your child, in certain situations it could be very thought-provoking. The way that the narrative is presented I really like. I'll talk about that in a moment. The actual nitty-gritty bit of the narrative regarding the quintuplets, the babies, I don't care about. Any film where babies are crying a lot is going to lose some points in my book because it just hurts my ears. But other than that, it was pretty decent. So it was released in 2000, directed by Bill Corcoran. Don't know what happened to my speech there. Directed by Bill Corcoran and written by Matthew Weisman and Gregory K. Pincus, starring, of course, Kimberly J. Brown, as well as Elizabeth Morehead, Daniel Roebuck, Shadia Simmons, and Jake Epstein. And I have to say, I was really impressed with the way it speaks to the audience, both literally and figuratively. So Kimberly J. Brown, our protagonist, of course, plays Jamie Grover. And Jamie starts off this film by speaking directly to the audience, and she does that throughout. And while that's obviously not the most unique thing, a lot of films are presented where the protagonist addresses the camera directly. I think it worked really well because she's a very likeable character, and I have to say her acting is brilliant. Now, I don't know why I'm surprised by that, because she's brilliant in Halloween Town. I haven't seen her in anything else, but I'm endeavouring to do so. But I just was really impressed by her acting styles, and if you really focus on the little details in her facial expressions and the way she changes her voice, and I was just really, really, really pleased with that. And she starts off by introducing herself. We get to know her quite quickly, and straight away we know that this is a story about Jamie, who, I don't know how old she is. I think she might be like 14, maybe. I'm not 100% confident. I'm not sure if we're ever actually told in the film. The tagline for the film is "As if life at 14 isn't twisted enough." So she's 14, and she becomes an older sister to these 5 babies, which are referred to as the Quints. And very quickly, although she's had her parents' full attention all her life, and that's actually getting annoying because she wants to just be her own person, these babies come along and take all of her parents' attention, and suddenly she seems like she's the forgotten child. And that's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, not just with quintuplets, but I think anybody who's ever had, their parents' sole attention for a long time, and then a baby comes along. There's the potential that they're going to feel neglected or rejected or dejected or, whatever. Any kind of negative emotion can come with that. And it's not just a case of jealousy, because that can be a case. Children can feel jealous when the baby's getting even just a little bit of attention. But there are cases where the older child is just kind of forgotten about, used as a nanny, which is kind of slightly the case here, but not so much. What I really liked about this is that Jamie doesn't ever come across as being resentful towards the babies. She never seems to blame the babies. And for a lot of the film, and I'm not going to spoil the narrative in any great detail, but for a lot of the film, she seems to, stick her chin in the air and just get on with it and accept that, the baby's needs need to come first for just now. But then things in her life change. She starts to find passion in certain areas, and things become important to her and her potential career. But her parents, although they do care, they don't seem to have the time for her anymore. And we get to see Jamie getting increasingly emotional and quite stressed and even angry. And obviously the moral here is, well, first of all, it's be your own person. The second one, of course, is if you are a parent and you have children, don't neglect one child when a new one comes along. So it's very rare that a Disney film, or any film aimed at children and teenagers, will have quite a strong message for the adult viewer. And while I don't think this is an adult film, I'm 29 and I really quite enjoyed it, but I love children's cinema and family-oriented films. But if you're not into this kind of film, then it's not going to be for you. But if you're watching it with a younger child, there may be a bit of a message there for you. I think it's very well directed, very well acted. I don't actually know if, it's quite funny actually, I was just looking at on IMDb, and Alexandra Bell, Kirsten Bell, and Nicole Bell are just referred to as Quint, and Quint. So definitely there were triplets playing the Quints. There are no other names on IMDb, so I'm not entirely sure if all 5 of them were the same. But it'd be very interesting to know what they're up to now. It's a really enjoyable film. As I said, it didn't initially appeal to me. I would have got round to it eventually, but thanks to Kimberly J. Brown, I gave it a watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is on Disney+. If you think it'll be your kind of film, definitely give it a go. And, if you're trying to watch Disney films, I think you'll love it. Maybe not love it, but I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. I'll probably never watch it again. Definitely glad I've seen it, though.